Hare Krishna.
Sorry, we got a little late. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yasodhanandana Braja
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuranam ki
Jai.
Gaura Premanam. All glories to the Supreme. All glories to the Supreme. All glories to the Supreme. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो भगवदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। मदेकबन्धुमत्सङ्गी मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारकमद्भाग्य मदानन्दनमस्तुते। असाधु साधुतादाय अतीनीच च तारक हानमं च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णारिकण्ठय स्फुरः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Maybe I can introduce you. This is Padmanayan Prabhu, and he's the director of the Mayapur Institute and responsible for the administration and administering the higher education courses such as Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, and Bhakti Vedanta. So he's touring America to encourage the devotees in higher education, and we'll go from here to Brooklyn to teach a 30-day course there. And we have one devotee in here who's taking the Bhakti Shastri online. That's Stika Prabhu. So we didn't know you were going to give class. We didn't put the verse on the board. We were just prepared for your presentation.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Now you can speak something from here, then I can also speak about the institute.
Okay.
You have a projector here?
Projected? No, not right off. We'd have it would take time to get all of it together.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No problem. So maybe then you can look at your mobile electronically. 2:21. 2:21. the Lord in the heart. You got it? Okay, ready. Thank you for your signal. Tasmad Bhavarantaramannayeta
Tasmad
Tasmad Bhavarantaramannayeta
Tasmad
Eta
Eta
Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha Tasmad Bhavarantaramannayeta Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha Tasmad Bhavarantaramannayeta Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha Please repeat. Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha Tasmad Bhavarantaramannayeta Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha
Tasmad
Bhavarantaramannayeta Niruddha Saptayatano Napekshaha
Stitva Muhurtar Dhamakunta Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Vrishijet Parangataha
Tasma Bhuvorantarammunayeta. Niruddha Saptayata Nonapekshaha. Siva Muhurtaradamakunta Drishtir. Nirvidya Murdandishujet Parangata.
Tasmad Bhuvorantarammunayeta. Niruddha Saptaya Tanonapekshah. Stitva Muhurtadamakunda Drishtir. Nirvidya Murtam Visrijet Parangataha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Jai Shri
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Tasmat, from there,
Bhuvaha,
of the eyebrows,
Antaram,
in between, Punnayita, should be brought in, Niruddha, by blocking, Sapta, seven, Ayatanaha, outlets of the life air, Anapekshaha, independent of all material enjoyment, Stitva, by keeping, Muhurta, of a moment, Ardham, half, Akunta, back to Godhead, Drishtihi, one whose aim is targeted like that, Nirvidya, punching, Mudhan, the cerebral hole, Visrijet, should give up his body, Param, the supreme, Gataha, having gone to. Translation. Thereafter, the bhakti yogi should push the life air up between the eyebrows and then blocking the seven outlets of the life air. He should maintain his aim for going back home, back to Godhead. If he is completely free from all desires for material enjoyment, he should then reach the cerebral hole and give up his material connections, having gone to the Supreme. Purport. The process of giving up all material contaminations and returning home back to Godhead, the Supreme, is recommended herein. The condition is that one should be completely freed from desire for material enjoyment. There are different grades of material enjoyments in respect to duration of life and sensual gratification. The highest plane of sensual enjoyment for the longest period of life is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9:20. All are but material enjoyments, and one should be thoroughly convinced that he has no need of such a long duration of life, even in the Brahmaloka planet. He must return home back to Godhead and must not be attracted by any amount of material facilities. In the Bhagavad Gita 259, it is said that this sort of material detachment is possible to attain when one is acquainted with the supreme association of life. Param drishtva nivartate. One cannot be freed from material attraction unless he has complete understanding of the nature of spiritual life. The propaganda by a certain class of impersonalists that spiritual life is void of all varieties is dangerous propaganda to mislead the living beings into becoming one and more attracted by material enjoyments. As such persons with a poor fund of knowledge cannot have any conception of the Param, the Supreme. They try to stick to the varieties of material enjoyments, although they may flatter themselves as being Brahman realized souls. Such less intelligent persons cannot have any conception of the Param as mentioned in this verse, and therefore they cannot reach the Supreme. The devotees have full knowledge of the spiritual world, the personality of Godhead, and His transcendental association in unlimited spiritual planets called Vaikuntha Lokas. Herein, Akuntha Drishti is mentioned. Akuntha and Vaikuntha convey the same import, and only one who has his aim fixed upon that spiritual world and personal association with the Godhead can give up his material connections even while living in the material world. This Param and Paramdhama mentioned in several places in the Bhagavad Gita are one and the same thing. One who goes to the Paramdham does not return to the material world. This freedom is not possible even by reaching the topmost loka of the material world. The life air passes through 7 openings, namely 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears and 1 mouth. Generally, it passes through the mouth at the time of an ordinary man's death. But a yogi, as above mentioned, who controls the life air in his own way, and generally releases the life air by puncturing the cerebral hole in the head. The yogi therefore blocks up all the above mentioned 7 openings so that the life air will naturally burst forth through the cerebral hole. This is the source, this is the sure sign of a great devotee's leaving the material connection. Tasmad Bhugoran Taramannayita Niruddha Saptaya Tanora Praksha Chitva Muhurtardhan Kuntha Drishti Nirvidya Murdhan Visajit Parangata. Tasmad, thereafter. We have been hearing the process how a yogi decides to leave this material body at a certain point. So this Prabhu describes the kind of end point, that's not thereafter. And so Prabhu was mentioning in the purport that there are so-called yogis, or you can say the spiritual practitioners, who lack the knowledge about the abode of the Supreme Lord, and they preach about the impersonalism, impersonal feature of the Lord. Because of not having enough knowledge about the variegatedness of the spiritual world, they conclude that everything is void. So this is a very dangerous propaganda, Srila Prabhupada is saying. Mislead the living entity to becoming more and more attached to the material enjoyments. Because by nature, living entity is blissful. So he is looking for some happiness. And in the material world, he tries to enjoy this happiness through sense perception. Because he is contaminated with the material association. So, in that situation, when he hears that after living from this body, he has to go to a place where there is everything is void, so he is afraid of looking to go to that situation. Rather, he wants to stay in a place where he can enjoy. So in that way, those kind of propaganda doesn't help the conditioned souls. So that's why it's very, very important for the devotees to understand this process of Bhakti Yoga, and while studying this process of Bhakti Yoga, they get the clear information about the spiritual world, where they can see how they can be with the Lord, and with their senses, transcendental senses, they can serve the Lord and be happy. Like here, we see children, they go out in the park with the other children, they like to play. We go share our meal with our friends at home or restaurants, right? So we want some happiness out of interaction. So when the devotees, they read this Vedic literature, they find our worshipful Lord, who is a person, and he also likes to play with his friends. He also likes to have parental relationship. He also likes to have some conjugal relationship with his devotees. So in that way, you can dance with the Lord, you can eat with the Lord, and you can perform many other activities with the Lord. When we get this information, and also we have the information that those activities are not subject to the material conditions, they are transcendental. And there is no so-called higher, there is no more. All these things are in the material world, present in the material world. So when the devotee, he gets this complete understanding, then he becomes completely oblivious to the material surroundings. And he looks for the opportunity. He seeks for the guidance from a bona fide spiritual master, and how he can achieve that supreme abode. And if by chance he comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master and gets his able guidance, then he becomes qualified to enter into that supreme abode of the Lord. So here the description has been given that then after that what happens? He brings the life air in between the eyebrows. Then niruddha sabda yatano anapeksha. So after that he blocks the 7 outlets. Prabhupada also explaining here, especially the 7 outlets which is on the upper portion of the body. Now the 2 outlets which are lower portion of the body. Total there are 9 gates, outlets are there. But at the time of leaving the body, normally life goes from the upper portion of the body's outlets, which are 7 in number. And generally, it is said that generally, when they are not devotees, the life air will go out from the mouth. But those who are devotees, they try to push this life force through the cerebral hole. And how? Anapeksha is a very important point. Sometimes the yogis who practice the yogic process, they actually desire to go where they want to go. There is a process called Krama Mukti Pantha. Krama Mukti Pantha means even they can desire to go up to the Brahma Loka. Wherever they decide, they can achieve the planet. But that is not very good actually. And devotees that don't want that. That's why especially particularly here it is mentioned anapeksha. Such a devotee who knows actually he has fixed akuntha drishti, his goal is fixed. Nobody can deviate him. His goal is unchecked because he knows where he is going. So he doesn't have any desire to remain in this material world. That's why afterwards he says, Nirviddhamul Vishriyat Param Vishriyat. So he leaves the body, and before that he is completely clear about giving up his material associations. Of course, there are some jnanis who tries to follow such mechanical process in living this body to achieve their destination, and there is some risk for them because they have not become completely successful in giving up their material associations. Still they carry some material desires, and because they are following this mechanical process, so there is a very, every possibility, very chance to not become successful in going back to Godhead. But for a devotee, if they are following devotional practices and with devotion they practice this process, sometimes Lord helps. Like we can take the example of Dhruva Maharaj, right? Dhruva Maharaj, even though he had material desire, but being a small boy, he sincerely wanted to meet the Lord. And here it is said, you see, Sthitva Muhurtardham Akuntha Drishti. Acharyas are explaining that a yogi, when he practices this process, then he comes to a point where he is able to see the Lord in heart. Then the same Lord will become manifest before him. At that time, he opens his eyes and he gets the beautiful darshan of the Lord. Then Murta, just for a moment, he just, looks the Lord, then he pushes through the life air. And then he achieves the goal. So in that way, they see the Lord in front. But those who are still attached to this material world and they still feel, I have achieved Brahman, I am Brahman realized. What is that? Many times they explain, Aruchya Prachena Param Padam Katapatanti Adha Anadhita Jusmanam Raya. Because they do not have respect for the lotus feet of the Lord, Anadhita Jusmanam Raya. So what happens? Patanti Adha. Even though they bring themselves to such a high stage and they claim as a Brahman realized person, still they fall down in this material pool. And a devotee who is fully self-realized and he understands he can achieve the Vaikuntha Loka, the abode of the Lord. And here in this case, particular case, we can see Dhruva Maharaj. First he meditated and he saw the Lord in his heart. Then for a moment, the Lord disappeared from the heart. And he became very much disturbed. And he opened his eyes and he saw the same Lord who he visualized in his heart is present before him. Right? And then when he saw the Lord, what happened to him? Because he was a devotee, was under the able guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, Narada Muni. So he had practiced this process perfectly. He was able to completely let go his attachment to this material life. Kacham vichannan api dibbyaratnam swamin kritathvasmi varam najache. He is speaking to the Lord. My dear Lord, I was just searching for a broken pieces of glasses. Now I have found the gem. So I don't want those. His material desires are completely purified. Even though this is one of our process, but in this age of Kali, we, the conditioned souls, having limitations in every sphere of life, this is not a very practical process for us. We cannot adapt to this process because mandas mandamatayo mandabhagyahi upadruta. Especially you see our situation, there is so much upadra, so much disturbance is coming from our own senses, mind, from other living entities and whatnot. Now, computer, mobile phone, internet, these people are going up and occupying this place in some space, putting some, what is that?
Satellite.
Yes, satellite, and trying to, what do you say, distribute all these nonsense things to the people's mind and polluting the air, polluting the people's consciousness. They are just destroying everything. Well, this is the nature of the age of Kali, we can't do anything about it. Now, in such a situation, how can a person be peaceful in meditation, practice this process? So that's why the devotional service is very, very important to achieve, so that it is said, this is a param gata. Param means paramatmanam gata praptam. The Supreme Lord is achieved. The best process is serving God Nitai. See, Prabhupada is so merciful. And he brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all the way from Mayapur Dham. Invited him. Before he came into Santipur, he came to Advaitacharya's Bhavan and he prayed sincerely for his blessing, right? Who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world? Advaita. He prayed. And now, before coming to this country, Prabhupada, he went to his house and he prayed sincerely. He's following the aside. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu responded to his prayers to come along. And Prabhupada, of course, he admits that what can I do? Krishna Sakti Vinanahe Tat Pravarta. Without being empowered by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, how can a devotee distribute this love of Godhead? So Srila Prabhupada, he went to Advaitacharya's house and he was almost crying. And the pujari, he could see the settlement who was earlier in Grihastha Ashram, used to visit. And today I can see him in sannyas robe. And he is in a different mood now today. He's crying and praying. And he gave the blessing. And Prabhupada did say that my Guru Maharaj is giving me an impossible mission. Almost impossible. Because nobody is interested today in this world to listen about the Supreme Lord. Everybody is busy with their life. Very interesting, huh? And his heart was totally infused with the Karuna Shakti of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Karuna Shakti. And with that merciful mood, the Prabhupada came along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srimad Bhagavatam. He did also mention, I am not going to America. Bhagavatam is going. And I am getting Srimad Bhagavatam. Like he is assuming the position of a coolie. Right? What does a coolie do? Coolie just carrying something. So he is saying, my Lord is going, now I am carrying him. I'm so delighted to bring the Lord to this land. And with a sincere desire, now he is coming, I'm bringing him, and he will do his service. I am just, I'm assisting him. Srimad Bhagavatam. So he has given us everything. So we don't have to look for a guru who can teach this yogic process. And nowadays actually all the yoga teachers, they don't know this ultimate goal of yoga practice. They do not have the quality to see the Lord in heart, not to how can they introduce their disciples to the system where they can practice the process and go with whom. In fact, this process is meant for the devotees to achieve the lotus of the Lord. But nowadays, because of the lack of the complete understanding, they don't guide the disciples correctly. That's why in this connection, we should appreciate our good fortune of being connected with Prabhupada's movement, and we have the complete understanding about the Supreme Lord, His associates, His Dham, and ultimately His abode in the spiritual sky. So in that way, now we know all these things, and also we have got nice literature Prabhupada has given us. Just to imagine if Prabhupada just established a movement, many temples around the world, and he did not give us these literatures. We will just remain sentimental people. We will become sentimentalists. Right? Without knowledge, without understanding of the Supreme Lord, what can we do? But he did not leave us like that throughout day and night. So much endeavor Prabhupada put to produce these literatures for us. Night after night, he slept, only 2 hours. Many, many years. You can say like a sleepless night he has spent and produced the books for us. So we have to read this literature and understand, then practice, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bless us. So Prabhupada, he wanted to establish an educational institution in Sridham Mayapur. Prior to Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 1910 wrote a letter to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. To Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a letter in 1910. He says, Saraswati, I have a special desire to preach the significance of such books as Srimad Bhagavatam, Sat Sandarbha, Vedanta Darshan. You have to accept this responsibility. Sridham Mayapur will prosper. You should establish an educational institution there. Just imagine. It was 1910. Then, preaching continued. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur became very prominent. Then, Prabhupada took initiation from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. and he came to USA, established ISKCON, and when everything is kind of perfect, then again Prabhupada is writing a letter to his disciple Prabhu. In the same connection, he's saying, throughout the world, there is no institution to impart education in the matter of spiritual understanding. So, we are going to open a big center in Mayapur, where this education will be internationally imparted. Students from all parts of the world will go there to take education in this important subject. When I came across this statement of Prabhupada, I was like, wow, what is this? This is the vision of the Acharya. Students from all parts of the world will go there. He wanted devotees from all parts of the world will come to Mayapur. Because we know, even though we have got centers around the world, but not every center has the capacity to run such kind of institutions, such kind of training programs. So they can send their devotees to Mayapur. They should have a good place, accommodation, prasadam, nice training program, systematic curriculum has to be there. So he had understood all this. And it should be taught in many languages, because not the people of the whole world speak the same language. So in that way, when we started meditating upon this statement of Prabhupada, slowly, we worked on establishing this institute. Now it is called Mayapur Institute, and where we are attracting 400 to 500 students per year for coming and getting educated systematically in the literatures as was envisioned by our Acharya, founder Acharya, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, and many other small courses we are conducting. And when I am going out as the head of the institute, I take this good fortune to tell devotees and invite them to come to Mayapur. They should spend some time and study Prabhupada books, know the philosophy nicely, and they can go back to their place, center, and then they can also preach nicely. So in that way, now in Mayapur we have around 10 acres land given to Mayapur Institute, and where we have built one building, one classroom kutir, and one temporary kitchen, where students are coming and staying, studying, taking prasadam, like a full-fledged college. It's a very beautiful place actually. And we have devotees coming from all over the world, mostly sannyasis. They come and teach Prabhupada's book. It's an amazing program actually. And just imagine, devotees, they take their time out and come to Mayapur Dham, and the association of so many devotees, and the lap of Radha Madhav in the house of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is Mahaprabhu's house, right? Sachimata house is there. In the bank of Ganga, such a purified atmosphere. And devotees feel very comfortable and happy. Especially the building which we have constructed. This is fully Vastu compliant. And anyone who comes and lives in this building, they feel, this is students come and Prabhu, just by entering the room, we feel like studying. And our mind becomes completely peaceful. Because this is the effect of the Vastu. Yes. And many students have told me personally, when we go to other places, because we still have some classes happening in Chaitanya Bhavan, near temple area. In campus, only one building is there. That's why we are not able to facilitate all the classes in campus. So some classes are still happening in Chaitanya Bhavan, just that is near temple, means outside of the campus. And they say, whenever we go to class in Chaitanya Bhavan classrooms, we are not able to focus as much as we can feel our concentration is totally drawn to the study when we sit in the classroom in this building in the campus. I said, yes, this is the effect of Vastu. And of course we are studying Krishna conscious literature, following Krishna's plan, and we are using Bhagavatam in his service. That's why he was helping you. So we have a plan to build the entire campus nicely so that girls can have their girls' accommodation, girls' classroom, boys can have boys' accommodation, boys' classroom. We are doing all gender separate program. So campus will be divided into two, half for the boys, half for the girls. So far we have spent around 7.5 crores of rupees, over $1 million. And now I am going out and inviting some people to come see and have a class also, if they can. Because this is a very important project. See, we are building temples in all parts of the world. We are not building many education centers. Even though Prabhupada has said all my temples are education centers, but practically speaking, this Mayapur Institute is actually an education center. We don't have any other business actually. We don't have that. That is in the temple. Our students, they go to the temple for that, temple program and all. We really like, school, college, study. And this program is not only for the devotees in Mayapur, not the devotees only in Bengal, not even for the devotees in India. This is attracting devotees from all over the world. We are doing classes in English, Chinese, Russian, Hindi, Bengali. So we are trying to get as many as possible. And we have a desire to expand on our mission. So this is a program which is not limited to Bengal, nor even to India. Today we are getting 80% of our students coming from outside of India. 20% coming from local. So because Prabhupada has, desired it, this is his vision. I feel because he has envisioned it, it's already there. Even though it is not physically present, but it is already there. Now those who are fortunate souls will come forward with their penny and give us and be part of this program. They will be part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's history. A history being made here today, I can tell you. I feel it like that. So I am encouraging devotees worldwide, please come and assist us, help me. We are in a very, very important and urgent mission. It's very, very required at this point in time. I have only one building. If I can have other buildings and ladies are also getting their facilities, so nice. You have a very big, nice library. Devotees who want to do more research kind of study, they can come, stay in the campus, in a very peaceful environment. They have nice prasadam, and they have nice library. Sit in the library for years, many months, hours, and day after days, week after week, month after month. They can do very peaceful study. There are so many people, they like to do that. And also we have some scholars who can assist them. So in that we are we have a very broad vision. We are working towards it. Please visit us, or those who are maybe watching online. Please come forward. Any way you can support. Either you can become a student in the institute, or if Krishna has become very merciful, he has given you a lot of wealth, please come forward. We need your support, because we have got only one building. Now I am thinking of constructing in the next phase one girls' hostel, one classroom building, then permanent kitchen, because at present we are running from a temporary kitchen facility. So in that way we need a lot of support. Please, if you have got that opportunity and you do not know where to utilize your hard-earned money, if you have got something, please come make inquiry about our institute. Ask me as many questions as you want. You want to see some report, all reports are ready. How we have collected the fund, how we have utilized it, and what is our future plan, how we have been helping ISKCON movement in educating the devotees as per the desire of our founder Acharya. Please come forward and be part of this program where the history of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is unfolding in terms of helping the conditioned souls to go back home, back to God. Be part of this program. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, in the course of your classes, are you finding some students who are excelling and become interested in becoming part of your staff, your academic staff?
What we do is, yes, we are empowering them and asking them to go back where they have come from to take up this mission on behalf of Mayapur Institute, and will help them. Like I keep on visiting and guiding them to start. Like this time I am going to New York. Okay, I'm going to start. I'll teach 1 unit there. Then we have got some other teachers who will also teach locally here. So in that way, our mission is to help establish this education program in different centers around the world.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Who did you say Srila Prabhupada wrote the letter to?
Atreya Rishi.
Who?
Atreya Rishi, Prabhu.
Atreya Rishi. And then you said that somebody was doing the program, and that before you became involved, and then you became involved. Did you say something like that? There was somebody before you running?
Before me, there was somebody taking care of the service. Then he handed over the service to me.
And you said that Mayapur Institute has 10 acres of land, right?
Correct.
So is it possible where it's situated that it can have more land, or it would be a little bit disconnected?
No, you don't need more land. Why do you need more land?
Well, I was just thinking in terms of if it grows like a lot of these academic institutions grow, sometimes they...
No, I would say, like you see, we have made a lot of kind of research and thorough study that what do we need. Our master plan had given us some kind of recommendations that for the next 10 years, we are saying 10, 20 years, you make an estimate how you grow, what are the classes we would conduct, what are the courses, so how much space you need. So we did some kind of calculation, and we came up with the rules. And I know, I'm confident, the way it is going and how students are coming, and for the whole year if we continue, 10 acres is now sufficient, more than enough. And of course, if we need, see, in Mayapur we have got land. If you fill this entire 10 acres and campus is vibrant, operating nicely, you ask them, they will give you more. They will not say no. Mayapur is, they are very good. So in that way, and I'm working there, I know the mood and you see, just imagine, I took over this project in 2009. The year 2009. And at that time, nobody knew me. I was just a simple brahmachari staying in Mayapur. And they gave me the opportunity. Okay? And some devotees helped me. Now we are there. We have done something. And management is also happy. So they are also looking forward to seeing some more development. Now, I have just constructed, you imagine, 10 acres land. There's only one building, one small kutin, and one temporary kitchen.
How many square feet is that building, approximately?
The ground is around 10,000, G plus 4. Total is around about 30,000.
Pretty big building.
Yes, pretty big building. Of course, because this first building, if I don't have a big, I need to accommodate many activities. Even if I have such a big building, still I am not able to shift all my program into the campus.
Is the building divided into classrooms and conference rooms, stuff like that?
You see, at this point, we have some classrooms in the building, we have offices, we have staff quarters, students quarters also. But eventually, we'll kind of, as we create students accommodation building, then students will go there. They will not stay here. Then we are planning to build more classroom buildings, and we don't have enough classroom building here though. That's why we are still continuing classes in Chaitanya Bhavan, where we were doing earlier, inside temple area, near temple area. So now the idea is, if I can get some funds quickly, at least maybe I would say $2 million. Next phase is $2 million. If I get in 1 year time, I can shift everything to the campus. Done in one go. Everything will be kind of. I hope, Prabhupada wanted. I'm really very much caring for this, and I do not know what will happen. Mahaprabhu knows. I am just, simple brahmachari, not a good GVC, sannyasi, or big man who has got contact with the big business magnate, who I can just go and get the money to construct. But I sincerely feel this is the future of ISKCON. If devotees are not getting trained sufficiently, they will become sentimentalists. And they, in the name of Krishna consciousness, will become attached to taking things for granted for themselves. Because they are not getting proper education in Krishna consciousness. What will happen? Whatever is kind of coming from their past impression of life, being attached to it, and they will try to kind of be here to just manipulate the thing in the guise of a devotee. So training is very, very important, Prabhu. I personally feel without training, we are not moving anywhere. So I hope it will appeal to some people, they will help me. I need some supportive prayer at this point in time, because it's a crying need for us now. We have preached sufficiently. By today you can see so many devotees are there around the world. Even I wanted to kind of start one program for our children, devotee children, above 18. I have been in my mind thinking about this program for the past 5 years. When I see how some devotee children are not very much willing to become Vaishnavas. My father and mother are Vaishnavis. And children, sometimes they say, oh, when I was a kid, you kind of forced me, that's why I didn't like it. And I don't want to continue. Oh my God, such a pain. So here I feel there is a big need, crying need, to have some place like Mayapur where our parents can send their children. I want to have one year program actually, where they can stay with us, they can get trained systematically, they will learn the philosophy, the importance of being a Vaishnava, importance of being born as a Vaishnava in a Vaishnava family. Then you can fix them, you can ground them in Vaishnava Siddhanta, so that they will go back and continue their life, whatever. You will be a businessman, you will be a kind of worker in the factory or company, or you become a kind of farmer to cultivate, or you become a devotee to, I have to say, temple resident to stay in the temple, brahmachari, whatever you want to do the service. So the point is, it's very much required. This year I have started this program, starting from this June, just for some, not for 1 year, 1.5 months I am doing. And then next year I will do again. So this is another kind of plan. Sometimes people say, hey, what are you doing for the society? We are doing the best, what do you say, humanitarian service in this world. So I feel some people will try to understand the gravity of this program. We are not just simply constructing some temple where people will come and fight for position and fame and power. No. We are creating a school, college, where devotees can come and study, get educated sincerely. So this is a very important project, dear to my heart also. I have worked very hard since I took over because there was no facility. I was almost, the land which is given to me is like a very low land. I have spent 1 crore rupees just to fill the land.
Wow.
So far.
So it drains good now.
Yeah, look like a sally land sometimes. The swamp area, sally land. So always water being there.
During rainy season it gets, water gets collected, and my program starts with international audience in October, which is like just after rainy season. And then everything, then waterlogged area. It's not a very conducive place. So I wanted to make it, flat and raised so that nice garden will be there, nice beautiful landscape. So students can enjoy the campus because I am getting international students. And if you come to Mayapur, I can tell you boldly, this is the building, cannot be compared with any building in Mayapur. Yes, structure-wise, yes, architect-wise, space-wise, vastu-wise, everything.
It's how many stories, huh?
G+3.
3 stories. And ground floor.
Yes. Anyone who has visited this building so far, not a single person has given negative comment. Even people came from UK, USA, those who are into construction field. They say, Prabhu, well done.
Where is it located in relationship to the ISKCON Mayapur campus?
Towards the east.
Towards the east. Close?
10 minutes walking distance.
10 minutes walking.
If some devotees are interested to come and study, please encourage them. We have ladies and gents gender separate program.
Right on the main road, Prabhu?
Yes, it's on the main road. There's a tar road going near campus. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. About 20 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia, I saw the Bhakti Shastra test. One of his original tests. Yes. And it was like 10 questions and essay.
Yeah.
And I had heard, and Balabhadra Bhaktacharya showed us this, my wife and I. This was the test.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to get Bhakti Shastra.
Yeah.
And I think if you did a count in here, most devotees don't have, for yourself and a few others probably, most devotees don't have the Bhakti Shastra. At that time, it was very simple and basic. If you had Bhakti Shastra from that test, you would be able to talk to anyone in the world and explain Krishna consciousness and help that person become a devotee if they wanted to. But now Bhakti Shastra has become almost unattainable to devotee. Did you say why? Well, we should all have it, but it's ask. Most people here don't have.
That is why we are coming here.
It's become so out of reach.
No.
And I attended college for 5 years. I'm thinking, wow, now this is great. There's a place to get
Why
this
don't you
knowledge.
come to Mayapur Institute? We are starting in 24th of October. Till there is time. Come and stay with us and get yourself educated. And after you come back, then you start here.
Let's ask the speaker, Prabhu, is Bhakti
doing it.
Shastra still attainable? You're taking the course.
He's doing it online. I started it online, but I couldn't keep.
That's what I'm saying. See, sometimes online program is not helping us to, follow the pace and complete it as.
Is it you who conducts the online courses, same institute?
I do teach only one unit, and I have other teachers that teach other units. But I think you have a lot of enthusiasm. Please, why don't you just come to Mayapur? Many devotees they are coming, yes, they are studying. I am very
can't
beautiful. What I am speaking.
Wait a minute, Maharaj. I don't have nobody to take care of the deities.
No, you have so many devotees. Tell them, hey, Mataji, please help me.
She's,
They've been doing it for so many years.
Don't have money. We don't have money to go, and if we do, we know what's going to happen here when we leave the service. It's so few devotees. It's so hard. And then
I am inviting him not to come and stay in Shakla in Mayapur. I want to help you.
oh, a scholarship.
Yeah.
a scholarship.
Huh?
Now
Scholarship.
that's interesting.
Actually, scholarship, my program is scholarship actually.
Well,
My whole program is scholarship. Let me tell you. I can show you place where I am keeping my students. And I can guarantee you, nowhere in the world, nobody can give this facility what I am giving. I am charging less than $2 per day for your accommodation.
How many days?
Where can you find? And there is devotees have told me, Prabhu, this is as good as 3-star facility. That's why I am going. I am telling, give me donation. I don't feel ashamed. I am not afraid because not a single penny is going to Padmanayan's pocket. This is going to for the education program of the ISKCON members. If you have not seen, come and see. Stand next to my project and tell what is happening. Whole program is already subsidized. Everybody. See, when I did this program, I collected after that. Some people say, "Oh, why you are charging so less money?" I said, "Look, I have got this building for free. Free means I have taken donations from people, and I have told them this is going to be used for education program. Only I need to ensure that this building is being self-maintained. You stay in your house. You maintain your house or not?
actually, I live in an RV.
So
Bus.
you maintain your house, right?
No.
So I am asking you to get on me. I am not making a business. This is not a
Right.
business. We are Brahmanas.
Right.
People have to understand this program. For 3 months, you know how much is my tuition fee? 12,501 rupees. How much into dollar if you translate?
About 300, huh?
300.
Around $300, right?
300 or 900?
Hmm?
70 rupees to the dollar when I was there.
Okay, 70 means then if you calculate,
$170.
that's $170, not even 300. Why are you saying 300? $170 for 3 months my tuition fee.
Plus travel. That also has to be afforded. Travel.
Trouble. No, what I am saying is, Mataji, kind of, we are very reasonable. And I don't want to, burden my students because I have a sincere desire that, see, I have created this facility and Prabhupada wanted that you will come and study. I believe, after some time, some people may think, okay, this is a good side, they will come and help us. But initially, if you make it like in a business approach, then nobody will come to study. Your whole purpose will be defeated. So don't hunt for money. Whatever is there, just utilize it in Krishna service. This is the mood I have in my institute. And we are doing that.
Good example.
Believe me, Prabhuji, I am struggling. Believe me, I am struggling. Not so easy. Many students are coming. And you have to give them. I take some money from them for their prasadam, and I also collect some money for prasadam. Then so that I can feed them nicely. And cost of living in Mayapur is very high today. If you go there, you will know.
They eat on your campus or they go to one
No,
of your
in the campus.
They have a kitchen.
Have a temporary kitchen.
Yeah.
We have kitchen, yes. Very beautiful program. When you are coming to Mayapur, so your friends are visiting you, tell them to visit Mayapur Institute campus. Then you will know what it is.
So which module do you teach, Prabhu?
I teach Nectar Devotion. For online students, I will be teaching Nectar Devotion. For on-site devotees, I teach a portion of Bhagavad Gita. And to the Bhakti Bhava students, I do teach Bhagavatam.
When your students graduate, you said they come back to their country and you assist them in doing Bhakti Shastra and setting up Bhakti Shastra education.
Yes.
So if we sent a devotee and sponsored that devotee in Mayapur, they could come back and
So they have to
give us Bhakti Shastra training.
Yes, what they have to do is they have to do Bhakti Shastri,
Then they have to come to teachers training. We have a teachers training program. Means if you want to become a teacher, you need to be qualified.
Right.
So if they complete all these programs, they can complete. Kind of, we start from October. By Gaur Purnim, everything will be kind of done. So if you stay there for 4 months, so October, November, December, January, February, for 5 months. Then this year, so next when is Gaur Purnim?
Maybe end of February or March.
Yeah, something beginning of March, I think.
Yeah, that's the same.
So almost like 4 months. So then he will be totally equipped with the skills, knowledge, so that he can start here. We will help him. I'll give him all the materials and everything, and he can start here. You can send someone. Why not? See, it is very, very important. If one temple kind of send one qualified devotee, the sponsor, then it becomes the asset for the local temple. And we are there to support. Like you see, our Brooklyn temple now, it is with us, and they want to kind of, again, create that vibration. So they said probably, why not, start this training program? I said, yeah, of course, why not? This is a very good program. All devotee will feel connected with the temple. There's so much kind of, juice here, I can tell you. So they told me now, we're going to start there. Similarly, I want every center, they should kind of, take out this spirit. Everybody should study, otherwise, it's very hard to keep everybody together. How long is the teachers training program? This is 2 weeks. Teachers training 1 week. Teachers training 2 week, 2 weeks. And Bhakti Sarati teacher training for 2 days. 2 weeks and 2 days. We are ready.
So every semester you have a full course or?
Full course means?
Like a Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta. How you organize? What is the structure?
Yeah, Bhakti Sastri we do, they can complete in 4 months. Bhakti Vaibhav, there are 2 modules, they need 2 years, 4 months each. Then Bhakti Vedanta has got 4 modules. So every year they can complete one module like that. And actually, those devotees who have completed Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vaibhava, they want to go for Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta students are they are telling me to go for Bhakti Sarvabhauma. But I don't have facility, because if you want to conduct class, you need to have classroom facility, no? Without classroom, how can you conduct? That's why this year, last year, we are conducting program in 3 different locations. Can you imagine? If you have program running in 3 different locations, how difficult it is to administer. Very, very hard. It's like real college, If you come, you'll see how intense the program is. And I said, sorry, now I cannot, unless I get some support, I am not going to do it. Because how can I manage? I cannot just go mad, Because the lack of facility, this year I had to stop 2 classes. I cannot conduct because I don't have facility. So I hope, sometimes I feel like in the world there are so many people, Krishna has given them so much wealth, and they do not know where to even utilize their wealth. Come see, we are doing such a beautiful program. Help us. It's such a nice cause, I can tell you, Krishna is very pleased. I hope Mahaprabhu send someone. I'm thinking like that. Anyway, program is going on. Currently, because of the lack of space, we are not able to give justice to the program as it is demanded.
But how you select the teacher? The finish?
We have.
No, I'm just saying, like those people come from the outside, they finish that some course and then they like to teach their center.
Then we have to go through this teacher training program, they need to get
Yeah,
qualified.
but my question is that you have to finish all the course and then you can
No, for
enter
Bhakti
in.
Shastri, they can complete Bhakti Shastri and teacher training.
Okay, so that's not, I mean, every semester you finish some course and they can go there.
I was thinking about practicalities, and it occurred to me, I wonder if New Orleans and New Talavana would share somebody, send somebody. They have extra people, I think, more than we should, I don't know. But meanwhile, wouldn't it not be helpful to teach, because the programs are from Prabhupada's books, which we all possess. If we had our own in-depth studies to prepare people to wake up and want more.
No, actually, Mataji, what you are saying, everybody will start speaking like that. You cannot do like that. There is a system, because BOEX, ISKCON Board of Examination. See, we are in a society. So, society is running with a particular structure. In terms of education program, BOEX, ISKCON Board of Examination, they have some standard system, structure system. And they are the one who is issuing certificate. Issuing certificate.
Yeah, certificate.
Certificates coming from them. Then if you don't follow their standard, they will not recognize you.
No, but a person who studies will become more interested and become more prepared to study their course. No?
You study your own, you will not get certificate. Who is stopping you to study? If you want to get some certificate, be part of this program, like how, what is happening, how they are. There is some structure system. Without, see.
Well, we don't have that, so.
No, what I am saying is, like you are saying, okay, I don't want to go to engineer school, but I can get this book available in the market, I can study. Yeah, you can study. Who is going to recognize you as an engineer?
So certification is the goal of GBC, ISKCON, and etc.
Yes, they are promoting this.
But
what they are saying is...
But we could send from between New Orleans and this farm, we could send people to you and get them the Bhakti Shastra and the teaching education, then bring them back. And then because of facility, New Orleans and New Talavana could host programs here. And then we build more houses.
And meanwhile, prepare the people to be interested in it, because otherwise, if there's no interest, they're not woke up.
Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
That's good.
You can maybe both the temples you can discuss, and because your management
and scholarship somewhere
out how you can do it. But I would say that will be a kind of a workable plan.
We could send somebody every
There will be a
year.
workable plan.
Yeah, because I teach kind of more in depth than it's my thing.
Good.
But I don't have any degree. But the information is in Prabhupada's books.
Yeah.
So find what you can, and you wake up to it, you get a thirst for it, Then there'll be actual students for an actual certified teacher.
Correct.
Even when we bring priests from India, priests and ministers, it's much more impressive when they are able to submit that they have a degree in Bhakti Shastri or a degree in Bhakti Bible. Otherwise, because the immigration department, they want proof that this person has some qualifications.
Yes. I know one student who was studying in my institute. He applied for a visa. This government refused. Because what do you do? The next time he told Prabhu, give me my certificate. He had not received the certificate by then. The next time he got the certificate, and along with the certificate he applied, he got his visa. Your government, they recognize your certificate. Yes, our certificate is being recognized in US government. It's not a kind of, just a piece of paper. And we want that kind of recognition from the higher level. Because we want to connect with the world. They should know. They are Vaishnava. They are doing some Vaishnava studies. This is their certificate.
That's the purpose of the TLVP.
Yes.
Very good program.
Now you see, TLVP completes, then you do not have people who are trained to explain the concept of the cosmology. Who is going to do this? We have to do it. My principle is doing it.
Would it be possible to, like Mataji, she's been a devotee for decades and studied Prabhupada's books. Could you test out of Bhakti Shastri? Could you take the test without taking your course? And like you can do that in colleges here in America.
Challenge.
Because I taught English for 2 decades to like younger students, and then they would come back and tell me they went to college and they tested out of 2-3 introductory English courses because they already knew what it was.
So what they have is, the system is, if somebody is applying for sannyas, is like, now very quickly you need to take the test, then for such a candidate, they will allow them to sit on one-time test to get path, and so that they can take sannyas. But for general devotee, they normally don't allow this. They encourage them to go through the course. Well, you need to study, you need to learn. So like that is the system of the BIS.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So if I decide to become sannyasi, then I can challenge the test.
When Kamal Krishna Maharaj wanted to test out at the University of Southern Methodist University in Dallas, they refused. They told me he had to take the course.
At my university, you could challenge, or what they call CLEP, you could challenge the course, but only a percentage. Because there were some people who could challenge every course and totally get a college degree. So they said, well, you could do 20% of it challenge, but the rest you had to attend. Yeah. And there were Hispanic people were coming in and challenging all the Spanish courses.
Why don't you take up this program to the universities to teach this, students who are enrolling for what is that, Department of Religious Study?
Oh, they have that.
Right? Why don't you take up that? You don't need degree for that, Mataji.
Don't need to wait for which?
You don't need to have a degree for that. You just go to this, affiliate with this religious study department in any of these universities.
At Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Morehouse College, Balabhaja Bhaktacharya was going in, and he actually took us on several of the educational endeavors. If you have connection with the professor.
I want to go to the university and be a student. What did you mean?
No, go and teach.
They, in a university, they have a department called Department of Religious Studies.
Yes.
I'm saying you go there as a teacher to teach.
Right. It'd be a guest. And then they give, but she teaches at the college level.
I'm saying Shastra, our literature, Bhakti Shastri.
Get your Bhakti Shastra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, I want everybody to become thirsty for deeper understanding. That's what I want to see.
This is the proof that you have got thirst for that.
Well, yeah, I love it. It opens more and more.
Yes.
Try to share it,
No, that's a very good debate. Very good debate. Not so many devotees nowadays, they are, being very open to going in-depth study of Prabhupada books. Stick your also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For giving us this wonderful opportunity to come and spend some time with New Talavana Temple and congregation. I hope Mahaprabhu will bless all of you and stay connected with us. If one day you decide to come, let us know. We'll facilitate in our capacity. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Swami Bhaktivinoda ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Hare Hare Bol.
Thank you very much.